Good afternoon, everybody. I think we've still got a few people filtering in at the back, but welcome to the Channels Talk session. Over the next hour or so, we will be hearing from a fantastic lineup of speakers who are very much at the forefront of, I guess, what we could call, or what people are calling, the golden age of TV drama that we're experiencing at the moment. As someone who's spent the last 5 years working in the drama business, putting together co-productions, and then before that, writing about it as a journalist, it certainly does feel like a very exciting time for high-end scripted programming. And having spoken to all of our panelists who you'll be hearing from this afternoon, I think it's clear that broadcasters across Europe are really rising to the challenge of developing and producing really ambitious, exciting, groundbreaking new drama shows, influenced in part by the success of the big US hits that we all know and love, shows like Mad Men, Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones, but also by the success that we've seen of European drama, the brilliant drama, the Nordic noir that we've seen from Denmark, shows like Le Revenant or Spiral from France, and also British shows like Broadchurch as well. As I said, I think we're seeing a kind of a new wave of drama that's really kind of pushing the boundary, and I think we're going to see some of those shows and hear about some of them today. For example, ZDF's new thriller, Blorin, which I think we'll get a look at later, which I think is part of a new wave of German drama that's maybe going to put that country on the map internationally. Sweden's TV4 is also moving into serialized drama with Modus. I think we'll hear a little bit about that. Spain's Atresmedia is doing some very exciting work, and of course DR continues to really raise the bar for everyone. So what's driving this kind of new wave of creativity? What are the opportunities for producers? I'm sure many of you in the room are producers. And how is the kind of the drama market evolving here? Hopefully we'll touch on some of these topics today. We'll also get into the nuts and bolts, so who's buying what, who's commissioning, who's co-producing. If we can, we'll talk about budgets a little bit, what slots these broadcasters have, how to pitch them, and there'll be a chance to speak to some of them later at the in the pitching lounge, I believe. So let's kick things off. We've got a tight schedule. I would like to introduce our first speaker to the stage. Craig Morris is head of channel management at Spike in the UK, and Spike actually launches, I believe, the end of this week, so very grateful for Craig to kind of take some time out from a busy launch schedule to come and speak to us about how drama is really at the heart of this new channel's schedule. So Craig, I'll hand over to you. And then the format is everyone's going to do a presentation, and I'll do some Q&A with them afterwards.
Thanks a lot, Dominic. Well, thanks for having me here. I have to say, it's a very exciting time for us at Viacom and Channel 5. It's also absolutely terrifying, right? Because in 2 days' time, on Wednesday, we launch Spike in the UK. It's the first launch internationally of a big brand that's very big in America. And apart from a sort of relay in Canada, there's not been a Spike internationally. So, when you're on a fairground ride and you're going up on the Big Dipper, getting towards the top, that's where we are at the moment. We're just staring the top in the face. And on Wednesday night, we're going to go hurtling down and hopefully up again. And we'll see how the ratings go. Basically, when Viacom bought Channel 5 in the middle of last year, very early on, we noticed something shared that could really work for us both. Channel 5 traditionally in the UK has had a lot of success by coming up with programming that is a little bit male-leaning, skews quite male. And of course, Viacom had this brilliant, slightly male-leaning, but not alienating to women sort of brand called Spike that they wanted to launch internationally. So what we were able to do is actually tap into Channel 5's rich archive and bring it together with a pipeline of some great shows from Spike and get this channel on the air incredibly quickly. The channel got the go-ahead in October, and when we go on air on Wednesday, we've got drama, we've got commissions, we've got some great entertainment shows, a real mixed genre schedule, and I think it will fill a gap in the market. So basically what I'm going to do today is just talk you through our content plans. Slightly different maybe to everybody else. We're not at the point in Spike's life cycle in the UK, where we're commissioning drama or even co-funding it. But we don't want to rule it out, because what I want to talk to you today about is about why drama is really important to Spike, and give you a bit of an overview, the wider view, if you like, of the channel, but then zone in on the drama bit. It's a mixed genre entertainment channel, and that's really important, actually, in the UK market. We're free to air. It sits within Channel 5's family of channels, and we have a lot of success with drama in the UK on Channel 5, on 5 USA, and we launch this Wednesday, and Sky is our sales house. And very early on, I found that Channel 5 gives us loads of great unscripted factual series, archive series, and I knew I could work with Bernth, our director of programs, and the commissioning team to commission some great factual entertainment for Spike. But then I noticed in America, Spike was getting back into scripted, and I started to look at the UK market and realized that actually, if we brought drama onto Spike in the UK, it really elevated the proposition. It really helped us cut through. In the mix as well, we've got some great entertainment programs, including some amazing stuff from the Spike pipeline, a bit of which you'll see. We've got blockbuster movies, which always play well around the drama, and we've got some great sport. And it's quite a complicated graph, this, but if you look at the UK free-to-air market, and this is where the strategy bit, we're talking about strategy and channel strategy and why drama is important. This is the UK market, and you can see that cluster of channels over there. If you look over in that corner, those channels are older skewing and very female. And the further up you go, you get younger. The further left you go, you get male. And you can see where Spike's sitting right in the middle there, around channels in the free-to-air world like Film 4, which is a film channel, Quest, which is documentaries, and Dave, which is very successful, tends to be quite entertainment and light. What no one's doing there is a mixed genre channel that gives you classy, edgy drama. And we suddenly realized if we put drama into the mix, in free-to-air homes, that could make a real difference. If you're in the UK and you've got pay TV like Sky, you've got access to some great quality drama from Sky and also from channels like Fox. But in the free-to-air world, it's not actually that apparent. So, of course, we've got Spike's American content at the core of our schedule and some amazing shows, and we've got some original Spike programming, but it's when we put the drama into the schedule and surrounded it with appropriate acquisitions and Channel 5 programming and movies that we realized we had something quite special. From Spike in the States, we get things like Bellator, which is mixed martial arts. We get Catch a Contractor and Frankenfoods. These are great factual entertainment shows. And I'd love to tell you about all the shows we're going to show, but I'm going to major really on the drama today. And also, we've made some shows. We've got Vinnie Jones doing Police Interceptors Unleashed. Police Interceptors is a very successful Channel 5 brand. We've got a switchover show with Vinnie. And that and Tattoo Nightmares in the UK is really, really going to help us cut through with some domestic content. But this is where we were really able to accelerate the launch of Spike. The reason we're able to launch this week so quickly is Channel 5 has quite a rich archive of both factual entertainment but also drama. In the UK, Channel 5 is the home of Gotham, and in free-to-air homes, The Walking Dead. And in the past, we've played shows like Sons of Anarchy and Justified and Falling Skies. So I knew we had this drama sitting on the shelf, and it was being a bit underused. And when you look at the movies as well, I realized if we could go out and acquire a few smart pieces, then we might have something quite special. We've also gone onto the open market. We now get a pipeline of great shows from Spike in the US, but there's some older shows that are out there that we're going to show, like Bar Rescue and Cops. And we've acquired Fail Army, which we're pairing with Lip Sync Battle, which is an amazing gift from Spike in the US. I mean, Lip Sync Battle started on the Jimmy Fallon show, executive produced by Stephen Merchant, and they've turned that into a half-hour show. If you get a chance, check it out. It's a gift. It's getting us traction already online, and it's an amazing thing to have. But then it got exciting, because then we realized we could be the first channel in the UK to show all of Breaking Bad, which in the past has only aired very briefly on network television. In fact, the first 2 seasons, the rest have been behind a paywall since then. So we're going to be playing Breaking Bad every single night. We've also picked up Olympus from the States to show on our opening night as one of our new exclusive dramas, along with 19-2, and we'll be showing the latest seasons of The Walking Dead, Sons of Anarchy, Justified. So you can start to see, when you put it all together in our schedule here, The blue boxes there represent drama. And you can see with the movies and a couple of nights a week where we've really concentrated on drama, suddenly for UK viewers in free-to-air homes, strategically, this is something no one's getting. Unless you pay for it. Olympus going into Breaking Bad, which will be stripped every night for the first 12 weeks of the channel's lifespan. But then late night, we've got some older seasons of things like Sons of Anarchy, or a great Friday night where you get a Walking Dead double bill going into Breaking Bad and some great movies. And what you can see is that the Channel 5 content gives you familiarity in daytime. But we're very excited, as I say. This will be the first Spike international channel. And what we've realized early on is in the UK, audiences migrate to digital telly post 10 o'clock. So to be delivering at 9, 10, and then particularly post 11 o'clock, real great quality drama is an amazing thing to start this channel with. So really, without further ado, what I wanted to say to you is we're sort of open for business. This is just the start of the adventure. And obviously, we're hoping at Viacom there'll be many more Spikes launching around the world. And I think with that comes some great opportunities to work with content providers and do something really exciting and interesting in the drama area. Channel 5 and the other Viacom channels in the UK are already working together on a lot of exciting plans. But what I wanted to show you is the sizzle reel for Spike. So really, without further ado, what I want you to look out for is look at the channel and then really look what the drama brings, because it gives us a quality. It gives us a bit of edge, a bit of swagger, which is what I like, on a channel that's going to be brand new to the UK from Wednesday night. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, here it is. This is your sneak peek at Spike UK.
You go hard or you go home. Someone's gonna get nailed.
Now, can you do this?
Nobody should have to live like this. You took their money and you left them in danger. Check it out.
Oh my God!
You can move, but can you do the way I do?
In this show, coppers let off some steam.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there, and they say yeah.
It'll be about 10 hours altogether, but it'll be worth it once it's done.
'Cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air.
A Frankenfood is taking unexpected ingredients and just smashing them together. I'm gonna be serious. I know, Mike. Yes!
You've seen it on TV, online, everywhere. So you know the game is simple.
My ex-man got his new girlfriend. She's like, oh my God, like, I'm just gonna shake into the fella over there with the hella good hair. Won't you come on over, baby? We can shake, shake, shake.
I thought this was a classy show, LL.
I was under that
I
impression
didn't
too.
realize we were dealing with vulgarians. If you want to stay in this game, give the people what they want.
Here comes the explosion of Melvin Van Houten. Now looking to finish. Oh my God! That is it! This is what fans have been waiting for.
This is our prison.
No one who comes here leaves.
What the hell's happening?
I can't tell you if what happened is an act of terror or an act of God.
So follow me because it's about to go. I'm doing 500, I'm out of control. But there's nowhere to go, and there's no way to slow. If I knew what I knew in the past, I would have been blacked out on your ass.
It is the purest, most chemically sound product on the market anywhere.
Fantastic, Ray. I think we were pretty much bang on time there. We've got 3 minutes for a little Q&A now. So, I mean, there are some great US dramas there. I'm really looking forward to kind of catching up on all the shows that I should have been watching that I haven't had a chance to. How about, I mean, I was talking about the kind of rise of European drama. I mean, are you looking beyond the US, maybe closer to home as well? Could you see that fitting the Spike brand in the UK?
Yeah, I think we definitely don't want to put a ceiling on anything. I mean, I think most of you work in TV or production, and you'll know to get a channel looking like this in 6 months is pretty amazing. And that's testimony really to the power, I think, of the Channel 5 acquisitions team, our commissioning team. But Channel 5 itself has flirted with drama, a very innovative new drama format last year that was very critically acclaimed. And we're getting quite ambitious now. This channel's very ambitious. It's a male-leaning channel, but there's room for that in the free-to-air market. But I think, yeah, what we're not going to do is put blinkers on. We'll get the best content from wherever it comes from, and we're very interested. And that includes Europe and the rest of the world, not just America. I think these shows made sense to start with, and there's actually a lot of European talent in a lot of these shows, like Olympus, which was attractive to us. But yeah, no, we're very open-minded. So, and I'd encourage people to come and talk to me if they feel they have opportunities.
And I guess you'll be looking to kind of see, I guess, let the channel bed down. You've got a kind of a period of time to see what works and what doesn't, and maybe then kind of build on those successes. Yeah,
definitely. I think I was really passionate to get drama into the mix from the start, hence we've acquired a lot of this stuff. But this does enable us to try a whole load of different genres. You know, Lip Sync Battle, which pairs brilliantly with Fail Army, which is very sort of jackassy. That works for us. And we've got some great factual entertainment. But in drama, obviously the only way to get drama into the schedule like this was quickly and with acquisitions. But no, we're very open-minded, and we do want to talk to people and see what's possible in the future.
So I know 5 has kind of acquired some Australian drama. Obviously Channel 4, where I used to work, we had a lot of success with Le Revenant. There's been Bracco, which I guess is quite a gritty male show that aired in the UK. Could you see somewhere down the line, you know, some great subtitled European drama?
I'd certainly never rule it out, only because I think thanks to channels like BBC4 in the UK, we've broken that barrier now, and I think UK audiences are very discerning. I think it all comes down to the content. I think if you look at that drama, hopefully we've got a very distinct style and a feel, and it's certainly quite dark and edgy and quite escapist. And I think any drama that fitted that kind of description, wherever it came from, whether it was in English or not, we would certainly be looking at very closely. But as I say, it's just the start of the adventure, really, so we'll see where it leads.
Yeah. And as you said, more channels rolling out internationally, so potentially further down the line, an opportunity for kind of channels to work together and possibly co-produce between different territories.
Absolutely. Michael Armstrong, who's here this week, you know, he's responsible for rolling out Spike internationally, and we've already talked a lot about that. We're very excited about the opportunities of working with more and more Spike channels around the world to see what we can achieve. It should be very exciting.
Fantastic. Excellent. Well, we've run out of time, Craig. Thank you very much for joining us today, and good luck with the launch. So our next speaker taking to the stage is Nacho Manubens from Atresmedia in Spain. Atresmedia looks after 2 channels that we're going to be hearing more about. And as I said, there's definitely a wave of exciting new drama. And I think from speaking to Nacho, I know that they're definitely kind of starting to experiment with new genres, moving away from some of the more traditional period drama they've done. And we're going to have a look at some of that and hear more about the channel strategy now. So, over to you, Nacho.
Perfect. So if we can have the presentation. Thank you. Thanks, everyone, for making it into the presentation. So I think most of you guys are producers, independent producers. So my idea here was to be talking a little bit about Atresmedia, so you get a good idea of who we are. Probably in the international market, you don't know what we do yet. So I wanted to introduce you who we are. We're one of the leading media groups, leading TV media groups in Spain. We own 4 free TV networks. Out of those 4, we're currently producing very consistently drama for Antena 3. We're starting to do it now for La Sexta, and Neox and Nova are 2 networks that we own, 2 DTT channels that we haven't been producing for the last years. But I wanted to focus on the two where we're building our drama strategy, okay? So I'll give you a summary of those two networks, the difference in terms of audience. I'll talk a little bit about the past, I'll talk a little bit about the present, the future, and we'll see if there's some opportunities to work in terms of co-productions with you. So Antena 3, what makes its drama unique, what it is our largest free TV network. The biggest audience for Antena 3 is a female audience. I would say it's a 60% female, 40% male. What makes unique our dramas here is that the length of our dramas is 70 minutes. You know, we cover the whole primetime slate with 70 minutes. We mostly work with original concepts. We don't tend to adapt foreign concepts. We work with original Spanish producers and original concepts. And we produce about three primetime shows per week, and we have 2 daily soap operas that go out every day. Okay, so for a country of our size, it's quite significant, you know, to have that amount of production. And drama is one of the keys of our DNA from our network. I would say that for the last years, the biggest trend, it's not something we did on purpose, but for the last 3-4 years, the biggest trends were period pieces. We had a bunch of, this is one of our daily shows, Secreto de Puente Viejo. This is Gran Hotel, that was a big international hit too, and this is El Tiempo Entre Costuras. The key about these projects, and I think what is different to the past, is that consistently they're selling very well internationally. So these shows, they do very well on our primetime, but they might be here in Italy, they might be here in France, different countries. So that has allowed us to have a very solid international relationships too. That is interesting for what I'm going to be talking about at the end, okay? At the beginning of 2015, we saw that we have to renew most of our slate. You know, our old shows were going out, and we decided to make a bet. Again, it's one of those things that I think you don't do on purpose, but now we kind of have a new trend that is the thriller. Okay, and during this year, we've launched successfully Under Suspicious. That is a crime thriller, very much in the line of The Killing or something like Broadchurch. We've had season 2 of Without Identity, that, for example, this is a primetime show in Italy too, and this is a revenge thriller, revenge drama. And soon we'll be releasing Vis-a-Vis. That is our effort to do a prison drama, very much on the line of something like Wentworth. The press is calling it Yellow is the New Black. That is kind of a fun title. It has nothing to do in terms of the storytelling, but obviously if you're talking about a prison story for a woman prison, you know, there's got to be some similarities. But this focuses very much on the thriller. So I think the trend now, what is changing is this thriller component. I think we're very more or riskier in the storytelling. You know, we value very much unique voices in those 70 minutes that I was talking about. That is very hard to pull it off as a writer, but we're valuing very much new creators or consolidated creators. And I think the other thing we're realizing, that I think is a worldwide trend too, is that it's very tough to have series that are going to last for more than 3 series. You know, most of our concepts of our new shows tend to last for 2 seasons, you know, because we have very solid concepts, very, very solid beginnings, but it's hard to make them last, you know. And we've realized that this is even applying to comedy. We work on very solid beginning, very solid hooks, but it's hard to get them. This is one of in terms of comedy, the latest successes that we had. We released it last week. It's called Down Below, and it was the biggest success in the last 10 years in drama and entertainment shows. And this is another comedy that, again, is the story of a family that you get to, it's a familiar comedy, but you get to live it throughout the family events that they have. There's one episode would be a wedding, one episode would be a first communion. I'm seeing that I'm already late, so I'm gonna be quickly. I wanted to show you quickly this teaser. This is called Tell Me a Story. I'm not showing this because it was very popular, but it's because I think it's kind of a summary of what I was talking about, being unique, this is a retelling of classic stories like Three Little Pigs, Red Riding Hood in a thriller. So if we can show it quickly so you get an idea. So this is a new, different way of telling the Three Little Pigs story. Okay, I think the concept is pretty clear. Last things, I think all this, all this strategy that we had for Antena 3 helped us when we decided to go into production for La Sexta. That is another network that we acquired quite recently. In La Sexta, the audience is predominantly male audience oriented. So we had a chance here to do something unique, and is to work on different genres. We wanted to be riskier, and I think all these international successes, the relationships that we had, that we're able to work with very affordable budgets, but at the same time with very strong, unique concepts, it attracted the interest of someone like BBC Worldwide. So when we started developing a concept for La Sexta, from the beginning we did partner with BBC Worldwide, as you know, the distributor, and we worked together on a concept that was produced in Spain. Was shot with British talent in Spain, was done, like I said, for an interesting budget. This is an 8 episodes, 50 minutes. It's quite different to everything that we normally do. And I think this is the strategy that we want to follow for La Sexta, working on unique concepts. And hopefully we still got to test this because it's going to be releasing this last quarter, before the summer. And we'll see if there's an opportunity for these kind of productions going on. I wanted to show a quick trailer so you get an idea, and if there's questions about how it got made, we can discuss it, okay? So if we can see the trailer, I'll finish it with that.
Hundreds of thousands of people, perhaps millions, all throng the streets in every city, in every country. It's the same picture in London, Rio de Janeiro, Tokyo.
My name is Alex, and I need somewhere to stay. We've come from the future.
There is no way that stranger is sleeping under the same roof as my daughter.
What kind of Christians would we be if we refused to help him?
I don't know what kind of Christians we'd be, but I know what kind of mother it would be. What have I told you about strangers?
Never trust strangers. Mum, if that man comes from the future and he hasn't been born yet, how can he be here?
I don't know, Honeypot.
Who are you? I can't tell you! Why are you here? Are you planning to get rid of us? You want to take our house?
You're going to tell me the truth. Shot, what are all these guns for?
These guns are here to protect you!
What?
You're not a refugee. Hold your collar down.
Alex said somebody was going to come and hurt us tonight.
I'm never gonna let anything happen to you, ever.
Okay. Thank you.
So, Nacho, that's the first I've seen of the refugees. I'd obviously heard about the relationship with BBC Worldwide. It looks fantastic.
Thank you.
Was that, let's talk a little bit more about that. I mean, you said that you partnered with them early on.
Yep.
Was it a project, but it was a project that originated from within La Sexta and a Spanish producer?
Okay, how it happened is, you know, all the stories at the end are quite simple, and is we have a long-standing relationship with BBC Worldwide, specifically with Ben Donald there. You guys might know him. So he's always pitching things that we might be interested to co-produce. And I think it was in the MIPTV 2013. I listened to him and thought, okay, we have this thing for La Sexta. We're thinking of doing a special genre. Why don't we work together? We will ask for some pitches to a Spanish producer, that is Bamboo. Bamboo has done things with us like Gran Hotel, you know, some of our bigger successes. And we asked for a few ideas. And that was MIPCOM 2013. We started co-developing, you know, did a deal memo of how it was going to work. And in August of 2014, we were shooting. So that was quite quick, you know, for a co-production to go that way. We obviously had an audience in mind who we wanted to do it. Very specific creative brief, you know, we wanted to do something challenging, original. And turns out, you know, there's very good British talent local in Spain, and we brought some people like Natalia Tena or David Leon that were flying from London, you know? So basically that's how it happened. And we asked them for some pitches. We fell in love with this story, and this is the one we co-developed and finally co-produced. And
was it Spanish writers or English writers?
Spanish. All the creative side here is Spanish. Ramon Campos is the executive producer and creator of the show, and we work with an English consultant, you know, that was a writing consultant. Actually, one of the fun stories here it was how to have in the same room an executive producer that doesn't speak English, you know, with a writing consultant that doesn't speak Spanish, you know, and all in the same writing room, you know, and trying to get together. But at the end, it happened quite quickly, and I think it happened quite successfully.
Yeah, it's well done. I mean, there aren't that many examples of that kind of collaboration going on. Yep. You mentioned it was done for an interesting budget. I mean, what are kind of drama budgets like in Spain? I know in the UK now, a lot of drama is now being produced at around £1 million an hour or more, because we have a tax break in the UK for high budget
I cannot discuss the specifics of something like the refugees, but more or less, you know, we're between 400,000 to 600,000 euros per hour would be top show for us. An hour means 70 minutes for us.
And is that tricky then, with that having that 70-minute slot, to then obviously, do you have to edit a version for international
Typically,
markets?
what we do for the international is we have a smaller versions, you know, shorter versions. That's what we typically do. Or in something where it's a mini-series, we might have an international version mixing episode 1 and 2, try to work on it.
So that's your kind of first international co-production. I mean, does that mean are you open for business, for more ideas from producers, broadcasters?
This is the first one. We've been involved in several co-productions through time. This is the first one that was completely originated from us, you know, that wasn't brought to us. I think we're open, definitely exploring, and I think we like this idea of initiating the project very soon with different partners. That's what proved to work well, and hopefully will be the idea in the future too.
Fantastic. Excellent.
Okay.
Thanks very much for joining us today. Thank you, Nacho.
Can I get the water?
Yeah, take the water. Okay. Next up, I'd like to welcome to the stage Bernth, who I think has rushed here from the screening of DR's new drama series, Follow the Money. And I think we'll have a chance to talk about that and some of the other programming. Slightly different format here. We're going to have more of a conversation. But shall we start off with the show?
I would like to start to show the promo from DR Fiktion, and as we have been in a very heavy male context now, I think this is a partly male, partly female repertoire in a female sort of wrapping, because my trailer editor is a woman and I am, and we made this together. So this is a little contrast for what we have seen so far. So please run the next.
Never know how much I love you. Never know how much I care. When you put your arms around me, I get a fever that's so hard to bear. You give me fever When you kiss me, fever, when you hold me tight. Fever in the morning, a fever all through the night. Sun lights up the daytime, moon lights up the night. I light up when you call my name, and you know I'm gonna treat you right. You give me fever when you kiss me, fever when you hold me tight. Fever in the morning, a fever all through the night. Everybody's got the fever. That is something you all know. Fever isn't such a new thing. Fever started long ago. Now give us fever when we kiss it. Fever with thy flaming youth. Fever, I'm a fire. Fever, yea, I burn forsooth. Captain Smith and Pocahontas had a very mad affair. When her daddy tried to kill him, she said, Daddy, oh, don't you dare give me fever. With his kisses, fever when he holds me tight. Fever, I'm his missus. Daddy, won't you treat him right? Now you've listened to my story. Here's the point that I have made. Chicks were born to give you fever, be it Fahrenheit or centigrade, to give you fever. When you kiss them, fever, if you live, you learn. Fever, till you sizzle, what a lovely way to burn. What a lovely way to burn.
Fantastic. So it's interesting. Obviously, there's quite a few programs there that I think everyone will recognise. I mean, obviously, The Killing, which has been so successful, but also it's interesting to see the kind of range of stuff, because I guess we would associate you with Nordic noir and that particular genre, but clearly it's the output is broader than that.
Absolutely, we're actually doing a lot of different stuff from crime now, and we're doing children's things, as you can see. We have a tradition in Denmark that we, every year in December, bring a half an hour scripted fiction for children from the 1st to the 24th, and we do a new one every other year. TV2 in Denmark do the other year, so we sort of make one, and that was the fantasy thing you saw.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but now The Legacy is not a crime. You could say that Follow the Money, which is being screened just now around the corner here, that is a crime, but it's not a whodunit. It's a more sort of crime about what did the financial crisis do to us in greed and in our relations to each other, and the recklessness that came out of it. So that's a different kind of crime. Of course, people will die from that, but not in the way that we know it from ordinary crime. So we're trying to sort of take a new turn with the crime genre.
Great.
Yeah.
Having said that, I mean, I think I would love to explore a little bit more about, I guess, the success of the kind of the Nordic noir, the stuff that we know you so well for, and obviously, you know, we all know these shows now, but when we were talking before, you were telling me that actually it was back in the 90s when really DR was starting to try and develop drama. So it hasn't been an overnight success.
No.
Can you tell us a little bit more about how you got to I guess, where you are now?
Yeah, but it actually started in the early 1990s when my predecessor called Rumle Hammerik, he was a film director and he became head of drama. And he said, I don't understand why everything in the TV drama is about theater, because it was theater plays we adapted into the television. It was rather sort of boring framing, and the productions were very sort of stiff and still. And then he started to merge the film industry into the television industry. You know, we had a professional crew from a film crew coming in doing a television series, and that changed a lot. And he was inspired a lot by NYPD Blues, for instance, and other cop shows in the US. And he made the first long-running series, which was 52 times 40 minutes, I think it ended up, called Taxa, which was about a little taxi company in Copenhagen. And that became a tremendous success, and that was sort of the start of that. Then came Unit 1, then came Nikolai and Julie, The Eagle, and then it just started off. And then we went to the US and saw how they worked with this writer on the top of everything. And then we brought that back to Copenhagen. And then we made our own version, so we have sort of a Danish/Scandinavian version of that, because the way the Americans work and the way we work is very different.
So is that I mean, I read about the one vision model.
Yes,
is that what you're referring to?
Yes, that is one of the key points for us, the one vision, because you have to sort of always remember what you fell in love with in the first place, and you have to keep that in mind all the time, and that is the vision from the writer. So if you try to sort of let everybody in on it, and that one thing could be as good as something else, it doesn't work. You really have to keep that focus on the vision, and keeping that working all the time, and keep it going.
So how does that work in practice? Because obviously you said in America they have the writers' room, and you have the showrunners, and I guess they're great for kind of nurturing new writers and bringing new writers in, and it's a teamwork process. But you said yours is actually quite a different way of working.
Yes, and it's much smaller because we haven't got sort of the amount of people or the amount of talent in Denmark, because we're only 5 million people. But we try to sort of give them, Jeppe Gram, who's the head writer and creator of Follow the Money, he was a co-writer on Borgen. And the National Danish Film School has really done a lot to train the writers, not only in feature films, but as well in TV series. And I actually teach on a TV series semester for all the writers at the film school every other year. So they're really trying to make an effort. And some of them, because when I come there and teach them, they have 1 year left at the film school, and then I can spot them and say, wow, this guy is good, or this girl is good. So come over, call me when you're ready to move from the school and into business. But it has a lot to do with that. And then we work. We have one head writer, one creator, and then around two more staff writers in the room, no more than that. But I think casting the writer's room is a big thing, and it's really complicated. On The Legacy, it took us like a year to cast the right people around Maja Ilsøe, who's the creator. On Follow the Money, it took us like 2 weeks, and then it clicked, and they were just flying. And it just takes time, because it's not a matter of talent, as I see it, because there's a lot of talented writers who can't be in the same room. It's a matter of chemistry, and if your mindset is working together, because when you're closed in a small room for like 2 years, 10 hours a day, you have to sort of be able to cope with each other in all kind of ways, and privately as well. You have to sort of know about there's troubles with his wife now, or the kids are ill or whatever. So you have to sort of be able to cope with all that, and even though work on. And respect that.
And not all writers can work that way. I mean, I guess the image in the UK certainly is often they're alone, hidden away somewhere, writing away, and it's quite a solitary way of working.
It doesn't really happen in Denmark. It's very rare that we have a half-hour series, comedy series, the one you saw with the guy who had his finger sort of smashed. That's called Broke, and that's one writer. He's only done feature films before and books, children's books, but he really wants to do a television series, and he came and did it for us, and he did it all alone. Well, very much helped by the director and the producer, but he is the writer of it all. He never had any co-writers or staff writers or anything.
And it's interesting that you don't seem to have that stigma, or you've broken down the barriers between film and TV, whereas I think certainly when I speak to French producers and also to some German producers and broadcasters, they're still there. It depends, it varies by channel, but often film talent don't want to work in TV.
But it has changed over the last couple of
yeah.
years. It has really, I think, and that's one of the big successes for television series now. One of the reasons why the success is so enormous, because the talent is moving over. You see it in the US, and you know when it's happening in the US, it will come to Europe in a short while. And I think we in Denmark have the primary director of Follow the Money is called Per Fly, and is a very acclaimed Danish director. Only done feature films, got a lot of prizes and all. And he wanted to do a TV series, and he came to us and he started this. So that was really nice. Yeah. And we're having another international Danish director on a project in a couple of years. So you know, they're coming. They're coming slowly, but but nicely.
Yeah. So let's talk a bit more about the channel and the output, because I was surprised talking to you again that actually you do some great stuff with limited resources. You know, your budget is a small percentage of DR's output, and I guess as a result you focus that on 2 big series a year. Is that pretty much the?
Yes, our output is 2 times 10 hours, 10 hours in the spring and 10 hours in the fall. And then we have this Christmas thing going on, and we have all kind of children's series we're trying to do, and a few sketch shows. And then we are developing now on you're getting this half-hour slot as a thing we have every year. But we have limited resources, and that's why we're doing a lot in-house production, because it is cheaper and the planning is better. Because because we are public service broadcaster, we have a budget of 4 years. We know 4 years ahead what our budgets are, and that is a big advantage. You know, it's really it's a big difference from private production companies. So that's why we can plan better and we can spend the money, you know, better.
Yeah. Does it also mean that co-production is important? I know you've kind of worked with other Scandi broadcasters and also with Germany. Is that
that's very important to get more financing. Of course it is. All kind of co-production is interesting. And then again, as Susanne Mueller probably will tell you about, it's so important that you still, again, as a co-producer, remember, why did I go into this, you know, so you don't go in, so money could have any influence on the vision or on the script or anything. It doesn't work. You have to sort of really trust the people that you work with, the creatives that you work with. That is one of the big things for me as well. That's trust. You can give it to them and you trust that they will do the best they can. Of course you have to sort of read and discuss and things, but you must trust the vision, you must trust these people.
I know, I'm sure we'll be talking a bit more about the team with Susanne, but that's a co-production that DR is involved in. How did you get involved in that? And
well, that's because we have a long-time relationship with ZDF and ZDF Enterprises and Lumière in Belgium, and that's why they came to us. And the original idea, actually, with the writers are Danish, and the directors are Danish, and the production designer is Danish. So that was sort of it should have a Danish feel to it. I think that was one of the ambitions. And but we have had this very good relationship between us before, so it was a natural sort of way to go into it. And the original idea for the team was actually based on 2 Danish series that the 2 writers made. Now it has changed a lot, and they forgot about that. But that's where it started off. But of course, things change over the years, and so I think. But that was a natural partnership because we knew each other beforehand.
And how about English language co-production? I mean, I've seen more of it happening in France and Germany, but as a public broadcaster, obviously you have to you have a Danish audience to cater for. Does that make it tricky to do?
Yeah, it does. It does because, you know, most of our money we have to spend doing things for the Danish audiences because they pay our wages through the license fee. But we just actually entered an international co-production because the director is Danish, which is Susanne. She's directing The Night Manager in England just now. And it's a British-American co-production, and we are on one of the corners here. And we're very proud of that, because it has a Danish feel to it anyway, because it's Susanne, and that would make the interest bigger in Denmark, that's for sure. So, but you know, it's only small money we can put in that, because our main budget must go for Danish-spoken series, definitely.
Fantastic. Well, I could happily talk all afternoon about your successes, and I'm sorry that I'm missing the screening of Follow the Money, but that's I guess we'll have to wait till 2016 to see that on TV screens.
That'll be in January 2016. Great. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks very much for your time today.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving swiftly on. We were just talking about Susanne Mueller just now, so I'd like to welcome her to the stage. Susanne is Executive Director of Feature Films and Drama for ZDF, and I'll hand over to you, Susanne, and then you can join me for some questions afterwards.
Thank you. I have to say, when I was a little bit intimidated when I read the conference brief. The key word was a killer presentation and rehearse, rehearse, rehearse. This felt a bit weird, I thought, because in the beginning of my professional career, I had decided to be behind the scenes and not a presenter, which was definitely better for me and also for ZDF's audience. So I'm not going to be a showgirl today, but I have some pieces of information for you. So ZDF is one of the 2 German public television broadcasters. We have our main channel. We are involved in some channels with partners like Arte, Dreisat, and Kika, the children's channel. And we have 3 digital channels. The most important for drama is ZDF Neo. Since 2012, ZDF has been the #1 in the overall market shares for 3 years in a row, and it is looking quite good in 2015 as well. And ZDF is the biggest single commissioner for fiction in Germany. Per year we spend about 400 million euros. Oops, sorry. Drama at ZDF is made in 3 different departments. 2 of them are dedicated to local production. They work with more than 70 production companies in Germany on a regular basis. My department is responsible for international fiction. You can't read the slide, but that's not important. But I have marked all the fiction slots between 4 p.m. and 2 a.m. in our program grid in yellow. And you can see it is a lot. And believe me, fiction is, besides some sports, of course, the backbone of our success. Now, to give you some numbers, the departments for German product commission around about 300 series episodes of 45 minutes to 1 hour for prime time and access prime time per year at an average price between 400 and 680,000 euros, and 100 to 110 TV movies with an average price of 1.4 million euros. The TV movie format is still very popular in Germany. So ZDF usually schedules 4 primetime TV movies per week, which also means that there are not so many slots for drama series in primetime. Most series are scheduled in the afternoon and in access prime time, which also might explain why they are quite mainstream and more easygoing. My department is responsible for a very special slot, Sundays 10 p.m., second prime time as we call it. This is a slot mainly for European crime series. But again, it is a 90-minute slot, so we often edit 2-hour episodes into one long format. The slot exists since 2001, and it is a mix of acquisition, mainly British, and co-productions, mainly Scandinavian. The average prices of what we spend is something between 100,000 for an acquisition and 400,000 for a co-production. We acquire and co-produce about 35 long programs per year or 70 hours. Here are some examples, and I don't need to read them. You know most of them. You have seen some of them already in the presentations before. We are not really looking for long-running series, because in the few slots that would be difficult. And we look for a good mix between serialized programs on the one hand and procedurals on the other, which is hard to get these days. In our crime slot, we usually are above the channel average. One of our absolute bestsellers is Midsummer Murders, but also series which are more sophisticated and not so easy to consume, have nice ratings like The Bridge with 13.5%, or The Team with 16.3% in the average. Crime is our favorite in international series. Obviously, it travels really well. It has tradition in most countries, and existing book brands do help marketing. Germans read a lot, and in the top 10 lists, there are always a few interesting crime stories. Selection is hard, especially today where we have so many good stories around, but there are some criteria. Is it a good and new idea? Is it a successful brand behind? Do I know the partners, as Pew said, and their work? And very often it takes us from one project to the next if we enjoyed working together. And of course, we look who are the people who are involved. Good producers, writers, directors, actors are important. And we love it if successful broadcasters are involved. So it was not only Pew with whom we have been doing a lot, but it's also Orsa with whom we are doing and have been doing a lot, and maybe others who are in the room. I do not see them all. So very often we are asked when we from Germany are going to be interesting series to the international market. I think we are just starting to do this. I have a few photos. You will have heard about Generation War, which won the International Emmy last year. Maybe you have heard about Shades of Guilt or Sawn something when you have been in Berlin. I would like to show you a short trailer of Blochin, The Living and the Dead, a thriller set in Berlin. Everybody nowadays shoots in Berlin, so why not also be Germans? We have Jürgen Vogel, the main cast. He has done lots of feature films and much more than television, so we are really happy that he moved into this drama series that explodes the boundaries between good and evil. So can we roll the tape? And last but not least, we have already talked a little bit about the team, which was in a way initiated by the group that has been working together on The Eagle and Unit 1 and The Killing, and ZDF and Network Movie, ZDF company. And it really was a co-production between Denmark, Sweden, Belgium, France, Austria, Switzerland, and Germany. which was quite amazing to do, I think. It took some time to get there, but I think it worked out quite nicely. It aired successfully, and actually we managed to really also air it nearly all in the same time, which I think was a good idea as well. And so let's have a short look into that.
Hi.
Hvad så gik?
A Lithuanian woman was murdered last night at the Hotel Europe in Copenhagen.
Friday night, the same thing happened in Antwerp. Europol is setting up a joint investigation team between Berlin, Antwerp, and Copenhagen. Your colleagues will be from Antwerp, Chief Inspector Alicia Verbeek.
I believe you know who killed your daughter.
I'd like to go home. Alicia Verbeek moet kort gehouden worden.
Jackie Mueller, Police Superintendent from the BKA in Berlin.
I am sure that the 3 murders were committed by 3 different psychological profiles.
Han rejser rundt i sit eget navn, og han gør intet for at skjule sin identitet.
Ja, men han vill bli sedd.
Ja, hvis han gerne vil ses, hvorfor fanden gemmer han sig så?
Bara för att han har blivit sedd på brottsplatsen så betyder det inte att han är mördare.
Ich weiß keine Ahnung, was das für Schweine sind. Die handeln mit Menschen. Und zwar richtig. Die lassen dann einfach verschwinden.
Ich will das nicht wissen!
Get your people out of there.
Fahndet die Polizei europaweit nach dem belgischen Schriftsteller Jean-Louis Poquelin.
We need to get away from here. Das glaube ich kaum.
Så hvis der er et hus fuld af kokain nede på Slaglejen, så har vi fået en medalje, men et hus fuld af slaver, så er vi bare pisse irriterende.
Tu t'arrêtes, tu m'écoutes.
Det är illa här. Det är mycket värre än vad jag trodde.
The team looks great. It sounds, you know, when you mentioned how many partners there were on it, that sounds quite a challenge to manage. Have you been encouraged by the experience? Do you want to co-produce more, or was it more a case of never again? Or?
No, I think it's really something we do want to do more. We hope we will be able to do a second season, but I think it's also an interesting model. If you find a story which fits to several countries, if you find a way of, you know, integrating the differences, it was quite nice because we have an original version where we have Flemish, Danish, German as languages, and of course additional English as the common language, so that really lends itself to co-production. And I think, you know, we can raise more money for such a show, and I think you see that. So it has a bigger scale. So I think it's that's good to do.
Yeah. And you would have dubbed it into German for your audience, would you?
We dubbed it in German for our audience, for the broadcast. But interesting enough, we put it up before the broadcast on our website, and there we put it up in the original version, and many people really liked that a lot.
Okay.
An interesting added value you can give people
Yeah.
in the kind of iPlayer.
And interestingly, I mean, it sounds like the consumption, you're kind of experimenting with putting a lot of shows up online and making them available to view all at one time, is that right?
That's right, yes. Because I think, and we had the experience this time, that actually having it up 2 weeks before the actual broadcast, it didn't take away any viewers from the broadcasting, but it really was kind of a marketing tool. And I think we have different viewers. The viewers who see it up front, are more younger people who are into binge watching, and the others who love linear see it on the television. So that's interesting.
So you get both audiences. Looking at Blorin, which I think is coming up later this year,
Yes.
is that right? And also Guilt, the other
Yes.
drama. I mean, was this a conscious effort to try something a bit different, or was it inspired by Nordic noir? What was the kind of thinking?
No, I
behind these
really
shows?
think it was a conscious effort to do something new. As I said, we are a generalist channel. We have to do mainstream for big audiences. We can't do the niche programs, but nevertheless, we want to do new things. We want to experiment, and we want to maybe also bring something to the international market. And want to go with this type of new drama that is existing right now around the world. So this was really an effort.
Well, I look forward to hopefully seeing some of these programs on BBC4 in the UK.
Yes, so do we.
Excellent. Again, I'd love to talk more, but we've unfortunately run out of time. So thank you very much, Susanne. Okay. Last but by no means least, we kind of turn the focus back to the Nordic region, and I will welcome to the stage Åsa Sjöberg, who we've heard about in a couple of the presentations, who is going to tell us more about TV4's drama output.
Thank you. Hello, everyone, and thank you very much for inviting TV4 here as well. I feel almost like a little guerrilla group presenting drama from Scandinavia, besides ZDF, who is such a huge and massive drama producer. Let me first give you a picture of the TV4 group. It's a group of channels with TV4 as the main channel. Sjuan is our number 2, and then there's a group of a number of linear niche channels, you might say. Since earlier this year, I'm happy to say that the Nordic premium pay TV operation C More is also brought closer to us, because it's now fully owned by Bonnier, who is also owning TV4. And that is great for us because we can collaborate much closer. C More is also currently transforming itself into a digital-first premium channel, which is really interesting also. TV4 is also really right in the middle of a fast-paced digitalization and transformation of the whole group. TV4 is, though, still a broad audience free-to-air commercial channel. And we are, I can show you that, we are the biggest commercial channel in Sweden. And that affects what we do, of course, when it comes to drama. Our target group is 15 to 64. We changed from 12:59 only a month ago, and that is also due to the fast changes of the behavioral and viewing patterns of the audience today. Just to give you a brief picture of the situation with acquisitions for TV4 before heading towards local production. Acquisitions used to play a really important role in our primetime schedule, with at least 2 primetime slots a week at 9 p.m. Going back, all Nordic TV groups fought really hard for the great output deals with Hollywood majors. And we were very lucky to have some great shows on air with TV4, as you can see here. But times have changed a little. This is the situation now, as you can see. If acquisitions used to play a really important role in our primetime schedule, no, sorry. I need to look at my script here. Okay. Big deals for big money and a big volume, which has been really great for primetime TV4, but also for building the niche system, the niche channels. But as you can see here, it's not doing as great anymore, and this has been really a headache for us because we can't really base our schedule on these great series anymore. It's a really huge drop in shares and ratings. So today, I think these great series need to follow the audience and go digital, because in Scandi, the audience really wants to watch the American and international series on the digital platforms today. And very much also they go and watch them on piracy services, actually. So today we need to focus on local programming for our primetime schedules. And we have some occasional big hits with acquisitions. I think Broadchurch was one of the best for us. And I must also mention that feature film is still working really well for us in the primetime schedule, apart from this. So moving now to local drama. Something wrong with my... I'm really sorry that I'm mixing things up here. Okay. The headlines are clearly crime and comedy. We don't have a fixed budget or a fixed number of slots every year for scripted, but the rhythm is about 2 crime titles a year and maybe 4 to 5 comedy titles, give and take, returning series or new series. But now we are increasing the drama investments, and I think the bet is that there will be even more drama series on air going forward just a little time from now. Especially with the joint forces of TV4 and Seymour that will also step in as, I think, an important commissioner for drama. As a commercial channel, though, we are depending on reaching the audience because without ratings, there's no revenues. So that makes us a little more cautious in our commissions. We won't commission the most experimental title. And at the same time, of course, we need to work with great authors, great writers, and great producers. Quality is not less important, of course, in a commercial channel, and that's something we've seen with our collaborations. This is the long tradition with TV4, and I really want to stay here a little bit. The 90-minute crime series. This is really a big tradition. And the titles you see here, Beck and Wallander, they've been with us for so many years on the classic crime slot at TV4, which is 9 p.m. at Sundays. The first Beck film was made 1996, and there's 34 films made altogether. The last 4 is in production now, or the latest 4 is in production now. Wallander, 32 films. And Christer Henriksson here is coming to an end as Kurt Wallander because the 5 last film series will be the end of the story about Kurt Wallander. So why the 90-minute structure then? Because there are many projects, as you can see, that follows this model, the 90-minute crime film. It started through financial smartness, really. By making 90-minute films, the first film in the series premiered on big screen on cinema. And it went through to home entertainment and then premium TV before entering free TV and TV4. And hereby, it opened up a possibility for us to use the support system for feature films in Sweden. And a success on the cinema, on the big screen, also brought money back for the co-producers and the production. And that is a really important factor for us because we are a small country with not those big budgets and not that much money to put into big productions like this. And Susanne is there. Another really important factor for us and for making these projects, of course, is the investment from our friends in Germany. Big channels like Susanne, ZDF, and also RD de Ghetto has been our co-production partners in all these projects over the years. And another great partner also, as you mentioned, Susanne, is Lumière in Belgium. So this system has enabled us to finance projects on a much higher level than the TV4 schedule ever had afforded itself. For us, the budgets are around, for a film like this, might be 600 to 800 euros an hour. And TV4, of course, can't finance that whole picture, maybe 50% of that. So it's really a hunt for money to get these big projects up. And another crucial factor that has kept us and made us stay with the 90-minute projects and model also is that it's great for reruns, and that actually a second, a third, or a fourth run still drives big audiences to TV4. Unfortunately, the model is changing because it doesn't really work to premiere on cinema anymore. So a big chunk of this soft money is going away. And also another key factor for us is that the first window is getting more and more important to own, since piracy is such a big problem for us in Sweden and in the Nordics. An example of that is actually that Beck is airing right now on C More, the premium pay channel, and it's a huge success for C More. It's really brought them new audiences there, but at the same time as it's doing well on C More, it's actually also boosting on piracy services, and it's streamed piracy services in Sweden. So it'll be quite scary and interesting for us to see how many viewers that will be left for us when we get to the free TV airings later this year or the beginning of next year. Then comedy, which is the other strong leg for TV4 scripted. Our big signature series, I would say, is Solsidan. It's from the talented writer and director and showrunner Felix Herngren. Solsidan has come to define Swedish comedy and has started a local tradition of writers' room collaborations. It hasn't been big in Sweden before that. It used to be one writer for one film very often. Now it's become something else with the comedy writers. 5th season of Solsidan is up this fall, and we're looking forward to that a lot. We're also very proud of Welcome to Sweden, a series you might have heard of, the Greg Polar written series. It's a collaboration between his company Syskon and E1. And as you might know, it also airs on NBC in the US, which is really hot for us. We're proud of that. Lastly, I want to say something. We're not immune when it comes to all the fantastic successes that SVT and Denmark's Radio and so forth has had with serialized drama. And of course, we hope to step into serialized as well. The first big step for us is Modus, and it is produced by Miso. It's based on books. Again, that's a success factor for us. It's based on a book by Anne Holt. It's scripts by Danish writers, Peter Torsbø and Maj Broström. And I think that's an important factor too. They've also written the team, Susanne, isn't that right? Yeah, they're fantastic writers. So we really hope that this will work for the TV4 audience and that we can continue to produce serialized drama after this fall. Just to say also that we're sniffing around international co-production, maybe in English. It really needs to be a very special project because we need to have an argument for the Swedish audience to not view it as just another acquisition, since that is not very strong on prime time. I think time is out, and I would like to show you just a few clips from our content.
Hon är ung, runt 17-18 år. Minns du någonting av det som hände?
Jag är sjuk. Du har 24 timmar på dig att avsluta och packa upp.
Så brutalt mord borde jag fört oväsen.
Hon blev strypt med sin egen scarf.
Hur tror ni det känns när den man älskar ens bästa vän?
Jag trodde bara du var svartsjuk.
Jag tror att hon ljuger. I need your help. They're watching us.
I'll help you. But you need to tell me everything. Hands over your head!
Jag heter Martin Bäck. Vi kommer från polisen. Din man hade fiender, sa du.
Du kommer åka för väpnat rån. Du är misstänkt för mord. Titta på bilden. Det är klart du känner igen honom.
Jag vet inte vem det där är.
Den jäveln ligger med min tjej!
Vad gör du hela dagarna?
Han håller på med något. Du kan inte liksom hålla undan sånt här. Du förstör hela intimiteten.
Ska jag ljuga för Camilla?
Nu är det Chas! Du får inte vara här! Jag har köpt nya magnolier och du checkar upp det.
Man får inte skjuta på sin egen tomt.
Killen i Homeland gjorde det.
Homeland?
Vi Sundbergare har jagat i 4 generationer.
Åh, för helvete!
måste prata om en sak. Så här är det, Fanny. Du ska få ett syskon. Du ska bli mormor. Nej. Jag blir stark av motgångar, ja.
Bruce, what's going on? How's your way too hot for you girlfriend?
I'm actually thinking of proposing to her.
Any luck on the job hunt?
Still a limited market for overly qualified Americans that don't speak Swedish.
Aww.
Man blir lite sugen på den här rullen. Va? Klassiska kärlekshistorier. Va? Ja. Kan vara något.
So thanks very much for going through the schedule. We've got a couple of minutes to quickly get a couple of questions in. I wanted to ask about Modus because, as you said, that's kind of a new thing to be getting into the more serialized drama. And combined with what you were saying about the changing model for the 90 minutes, do you think that's a bigger shift then? Overall, are you going to move more towards serialized drama and away from those 90-minute films, or are they still key to the channel?
I think the 90 minutes will still be key, but I think we really need to open up for the serialized as well. I think the audience really long for that. It's just a matter of creating great series that actually hold up for the competition in the schedule and that the audience really finds them there. It'll be a 9 o'clock slot in the weekday and the competition is tough. So we really hope that Modus will prove that this is the right way for us.
And that's airing later this year? Will that when does that?
Yes, it's premiering this fall actually.
Okay,
yes.
Great. And then you mentioned the interest in international co-production. Are there kind of particular areas or genres that you think would work best for TV4? Or?
I think again, crime is there's a motor there that will get the audience hooked and that will keep them hanging on to a series. What has been keeping us away a little bit, even though we've been sniffing around international co-productions for a while, is that a series in English, would that make sense to the Swedish audience? Or would it be, P was saying that we need to work with the local money for local and series in Swedish. Shall we really spend it on international stuff? So it needs to be something that would make sense to the Swedish audience, I think. Would have to have an extra factor that would make it big locally.
And obviously, as I think we were discussing before, you've got to, if you're co-producing rather than acquiring finished product and probably putting in more money, you've got to justify. If it just looks like
bigger
an
audience,
acquisition,
really.
then why bother?
Yeah, it needs a bigger audience. We're so happy to work closer to Seymour because I think going digital and opening up serialized drama in a window like that, where you might be able to binge watch even, I think that would be a step forward for us, and also a possibility where you can have combined two budgets to make things happen.
Excellent. Well, that's going to be interesting to watch. Again, we've run out of time, but thank you very much for your time, and thank you for all our panelists today. Just to say that you will have an opportunity if you're hoping to speak to some of our speakers and meet with them, rather than kind of flocking to the front of the stage, we do have a separate lounge. So we'll be taking people across to that lounge for half an hour of quick one-to-ones. And there's a priority given for people who registered online, but hopefully those of you who want to get a chance to speak to them, you will do that.